Hi, this is Zach with Warner Wound, and today I have for review the Helson Sharkmaster 1000. This is a homage watch to the Omega Seamaster 1000, which was originally released in 1971. And that watch was a follow-up to the kind of a famous Omega Seamaster 600, also known as the Plauprof. And just as a side note, Helson actually makes an homage to that as well, called the Sharkmaster 600. Now for the Seamaster 1000, what that has in common with the Plauprof is the same bezel insert, same dial, and same plunger hands. Otherwise, it has a very different case design, this kind of hooded case, which is monoblock. That is to say, it is made out of single machined piece of metal. And that case design is actually reminiscent of the late 1960s Omega Flightmaster chronograph. They took kind of the same profile but turned it into a monoblock case for this watch. Now the Seamaster 1000 is considered, I read, though I cannot verify this fact, that it's considered to be the first 1,000 meter dive watch. I think given that it's from 1971, that's possible, but once again, unconfirmed. Anyway, so Helson made this Sharkmaster 1000, and it's the only homage to the Seamaster 1000 on the market that I'm aware of. And they did a really good job of sticking to the original design of that watch, so making it a very good homage to it. And since it's a contemporary watch, it has some slight different features. Namely, it has an ETA 2824-2 movement in it. And it goes for $899, which is, I think, very affordable for a watch of this build quality with these components. And compared to an original Omega Seamaster 1000, which will go for several $1,000s at auction. Now taking a look at the dial of the Helson Sharkmaster 1000 and the bezel as well, you can see that it stays very faithful to the Seamaster 1000 as well as the Plauprof. And now just looking in, so the dial itself is actually a blue. It's not a very dark blue. It actually, and I'd say, has a little bit of green to it. It's a very nice color actually. And for markings, you have loomed indices at the individual hours, and these are just rectangular. And then between those, for the individual minutes, you have just kind of small white lines, which are non-loomed. I really like actually the non-numerical dial. I mean, this is a classic Omega dial, and it's a very attractive one. And I think actually kind of has a very contemporary look. I think you could see this on a new watch, and you would not think twice about it. On this version of the Sharkmaster 1000, it has a silver date wheel with black text. Helson offers it as well with a black date wheel. I really like the silver, and that's also faithful to the original. It doesn't disrupt the dial very much, and just it's simply a nice look. Now looking at the bezel, you have a black acrylic bezel with loomed inlays as well as non-loomed inlays. So for the hours and these minute numerals, these are loomed with C3 Superluminova, and then the individual minutes between them are just white little markings. I like the bezel insert a lot too. This, unlike the dial, actually feels a lot more like it's from the time period of the early 70s. One thing that I think is kind of cool is when at night when this is glowing, only the larger markings are glowing, and the slight yellow tinge of the C3 loom looks really kind of nice against these little white markings. You have the classic plunger hands, which I think is mostly defined by this oversized orange minute hand, and the smaller white hour hand and the square on the second hand. Like I said, so this has C3 Superluminova throughout, which is obviously a contemporary loom. It's extremely strong, as seems to be the case with all Helson watches, and a little bit of time in the sun and it'll immediately start glowing. One more thing about the bezel, just talking about construction a little bit. It has a very, very nice sturdy action to it. It turns very well, it lands right on the spot as you would expect. It's a 120 click unidirectional bezel. taking a look at the case of the Sharkmaster 1000. So it has this monoblock case design, which means that it's instead of a three-part case with a case, back, a body, and a crystal over that, it's a solid piece of metal where the movement, any kind of retention, and the dial, sapphire, crystal are all top-loaded into that and sealed off. This creates a very solid case, as well as a fairly heavy case. The case alone weighs 150 grams. Now, just taking a look at the construction of this, it's really a remarkable design, very unique and quite beautiful. You can see the profile, 15 millimeters tall, with a very tall bezel actually. Has this kind of sweep to it, very harsh geometry going on there, very large lug guards, a screwed down crown here, which is marked H for Helson in this case. And then the back here is a arced for your wrist for ergonomics. I have to say it's really kind of remarkable when you see a design like this how much of this is based on ergonomics, and I'll show you in a second. I'll talk about this a little bit more in the wearability, but these kind of scalloped sides here are so your wrist won't get cut by the sides of the watch. Now, while that actually makes it a little top heavy, it also makes it much more comfortable than I think it would be otherwise. Taking a look at the back, it has this interesting kind of rib pattern. No markings, but this rib pattern, you can imagine when this is against your skin, this is going to allow water to travel through, going to allow air to pass through, once again increasing the comfort. The machining all around is extremely nice. They did a really great job recreating this watch. One thing I like, just a little detail that Helson does, they number their watches. So this is number 224. That's located underneath the lug hood here. Now looking a little bit at the wearability of the Sharkmaster 1000. It's a very large watch. The case measures 44 millimeters in diameter and 15 millimeters tall. It also has a 22 millimeter lug width. It's not so much actually the diameter of this watch which makes it feel big, it's the height and the weight of it. But I'll talk about that in a second. Actually, the hooded lugs fit kind of comfortably on the wrist. I don't have a particularly large wrist, and I think that this still suits me. Also, the left side crown here makes it more comfortable, so when you flex your arm in, you're not going to get that digging into your hand. Now looking a bit of it at the side here, you can see it's a very tall watch at 15 millimeters. And what was kind of brilliant though about the original case design is that it has these two cutaways on the side. So once again, when you flex in, it kind of doesn't cut in, and it actually is very ergonomic and nice. So now I'm wearing this on the mesh bracelet that comes with the watch. It also comes with a rubber strap, which I'll show you in a minute. It's a nice quality stainless steel mesh bracelet. It's a few millimeters thick. It feels substantial. This has two buckles that it comes with. This is kind of almost a seat belt like clasp. You pull it and it'll release. It also comes with a deployment clasp, which you can install if you prefer that. One thing to note about this is that I didn't have to adjust it at all to fit my wrist, and once again I have a relatively small wrist. It does come with an extension, but it's not that long, so if you have a particularly large wrist, I would doubt that this would fit you out of the box. Now taking a look at the Sharkmaster on this isoframe style rubber strap. It's another nice strap. It provides kind of a little bit more of a rugged look to the watch, though I personally prefer to wear the mesh bracelet because I like the look of it. And also I find the softness of this strap, though very comfortable, when you have the weight of this watch, it kind of lets it move a little more than I personally like. But once again, the look is actually kind of really nice and sporty. The Helson Sharkmaster 1000 comes with actually a very nice package, especially for an $899 watch. It comes with a 22 millimeter mesh steel bracelet, an extra deployment clasp, a little extension for the mesh bracelet, an isoframe style rubber strap, a watch tool, extra spring bars. It's really kind of a very nice thorough package. Out of the case, you could probably wear this well, you might wear it forever without getting a new strap, but you definitely have, two very good options here. They really, it's a great value adder for the watch. The watch itself, of course, is a very high quality, well-built watch. Homage to the Seamaster 1000. I think the quality and the materials speak for themselves. It's made with ETA 2824-2 automatic movement, a 4.5 millimeter thick sapphire crystal, and it's literally like a solid piece of metal given the monoblock construction. So just to wrap things up, I think this is a very interesting homage watch. If the history of divers interests you, if 70s divers interest you, if the history of Omega interests you, I think this might be a watch for you to look at. Thank you for listening and watching. Once again, this is Zach from Worn and Wound. Keep coming back for more reviews. Thank you.